So we are going to get right into talking about Jon Jones, UFC lightweight heavyweight champion, no longer. This title has been stripped after a hit-and-run incident that happened in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where he trains. The 205-pounder will, well, for the foreseeable future, no longer fight in the UFC. He's been suspended indefinitely. We're still not sure on the details exactly how long that will be. Dana White hasn't come out and said necessarily exact time that that'll happen. But this does not look good. He tweeted out today he needs to do some soul searching, and boy, does he need to do some soul searching. For those of you who are maybe already got the pay-per-view, you're excited about the pay-per-view for next month, UFC 186 is still going on. Daniel Cormier is now going to step in and fight Anthony Rumble Johnson, which should be a good fight. I think Rumble Johnson's going to win because he's just the man. But anyway, what do we think about all this? All this is going down right now.
This is crazy. I know we talked a little bit about this before. This is a guy that, again, you got to be smarter, man, when you're in this position. I know he may not be quite as commercial as Ronda Rousey, because Rousey's getting like movies and stuff like that. Nonetheless, in the sport itself, he's just as big. He's a huge name, big star. You got to be smarter, though. Gets busted for cocaine not that long ago, and then has this. Now stripped of the title, you know, that he worked so hard to defend, and what was it, eight fights, I believe. Yeah. So it's like, and to have it stripped away, it sucks. But at the same time, you know, he deserved it. You know, he did this to himself.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is something that happened outside of the ring, of course. But I mean, we see this all the time. Look at the NFL and Adrian Peterson. He disciplined his son outside of the ring. You have all the stuff that happens outside of the field, the ring, and you still have to pay for not everything. There's some things that they'll stay away from. But when it comes to crimes, you know, there are things that you sign. There are these policies that all these sports have where you can't, you know, violate the code of conduct. So I mean, you know,
that's the other thing too. Like I said, with the cocaine and then this and stuff, at some point you've got to step in. You can't allow him to keep doing stuff like this and then continue to let him just gain, you know, fame and glory in the, you know, the octagon.
Yeah, it looks bad. You know, pregnant ladies can't be hit. I mean, I'm not saying it makes it sound it's worse, of course. But if it was like some regular dude and broke his arm, like, well, but I mean, you know, he can't do it anyway. He ran away. He fled the scene. It looks bad. AJ, what do you think about this discipline? Do you think it's just? How long would you think maybe an appropriate suspension would be for Jon Jones?
Well, you know, given that he did hit the other driver and then he ran away, came back to grab money, stuffed it down his pants, and ran away again. And we know it involved a pregnant woman, and I know they weren't life-threatening injuries, but it's still kind of a pattern of behavior with Jon Jones. And I think that the UFC the heads there, Dana White, they said, you know, we cannot have this kind of character. And it puts them in a position of, you know, letting him go essentially for this time being. And the thing is, it seems unprecedented for UFC. So I don't necessarily know how long they're going to hold him out, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's maybe a year or more.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't happen often. No. I mean, guys they get injured and things like this happen, but rarely do they get just cut. I mean, Dana will cut people that's cutting for lack of performance. If they struggle, if they lose several matches.
It's almost like if the NBA decided they wanted to do away with LeBron James. Right. You know what I mean? It's
bad. Yeah. I mean, Jon Jones is a big star. That's a big one.